Hello, everybody, and welcome to DraftKings. That's right, this is DraftKings FC, and my name is TYRONE. I am your host. Now, it is week 8 of the English Premier League, just fresh from the international break. We're all raring to go here, but who is joining me? Well, it's the usual suspects. To my left, it's Jamie HINKS, staff writer for DraftKings. Over there, we've got DALMONTE, European football correspondent. And of course, next to him, the humorist, it is Andy Davies. Welcome back. Right, the next game, everybody, is a biggie. It's two teams that have played pretty well for the most part in the first 8 weeks. It is Man City, who's title favourites, against Everton, who's got a new lease of life with the Dutchman Koeman in charge. Guys, how do we see this going? We'll start with Andy. Andy.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, this, because there's a lot of injury doubts for both sides. So I'm not quite sure who's going to be turning up. I mean, Lukaku's a doubt, isn't he? And Sterling as well, and De Bruyne are both doubtful for City. So this could be an interesting match. I mean, City haven't won in the last 2 Premier League games. Everton haven't won in the last 3. Both started the season very well. I would say Everton are dropping off a lot more than City are. I think City struggled against Spurs to a point, but yeah, I mean Aguero as well. He hasn't scored in 4 games in all competitions, so I'm kind of expecting Sergio to get back. I think for DraftKings this could be an interesting one because you've got players without Sterling and without De Bruyne. You've got players like Nolito, Navas, and Silva who are slightly cheaper, and Inacho as well, who are slightly cheaper City players. I mean they're all pretty expensive.
Yes.
There might be some value there, but again, I've got this one down as a City win 2-1. I don't trust City's defence enough to keep out Everton, particularly if Lukaku's playing. But it will be a City win. City 2, Everton 1.
Okay, so a tight victory for Man City, you think? Could Lukaku score a big round like that, I wonder, even if he is fit? But Edo, same question. How's this match going to go?
Could Lukaku score? No! We love to hate Romelu Lukaku.
Speak for yourself. I like him.
I like him. Okay, no, I'm going to make a comparison here. I think that as a couple of years ago, Everton looked on the up, lovely football. Then they went to Manchester City and got absolutely trounced. I believe the final score was 3-0, 3-1. They never looked in the game. They were being managed by Roberto Martinez. The difference now, I think, is that Ronald Koeman, even though they've been a bit underwhelming of late, I think the Toffees manager can actually game plan like nobody's business. Against Tottenham, for example, he said, right, in the first half, we're going to absolutely try and stifle them. We're going to do everything possible. They ran at Tottenham for the first 45 minutes. It was enough to claw, to sort of, come away with a point. I think here, I have the same scoreline as you do. I have a 2-1 City win. It's not going to be that easy. Sterling is actually out, according to the DraftKings app, which I'm really bummed out by because I thought he was really good value. Him against Seamus Coleman, I thought that would be brilliant. I think he's going to rack up the points. I think Mason Holgate would be a much better call for Everton defensively, just to contain Sterling because he doesn't really offer that much going forward. But yeah, I do think that Koeman's going to keep this game tight. That Everton goal will come from somewhere we don't expect. In fact, it's going to come from City's sort of weakness at centre-back. You've got that whole John Stones situation. Right now, it kind of looks like Everton have kind of like running, like laughing all the way to the bank, really, because they've given away John Stones. Their defence looks better than it did last year, at least in the middle. Stekelenburg's been pulling off really good saves. So I think that Everton will stay in this game and they will lose it 2-1. And yeah, some sort of mistake on a set piece will allow someone like, let's say, Ashley Williams to sort of score Everton's goal. I don't know why Ashley Williams.
I just love the specifics.
It's not normally bad.
It's like, it's going to be the score, but this is going to happen, and this goal is going to come from there.
And City won 4-0.
It's the English Premier League. Absolutely. The English Premier League, anything can happen. Remember, we all said that Spurs were going to get bashed up by Man City and how wrong we were. Bring some sanity to this for me, Jamie. Jamie, how's this game going to go?
Well, I'm not as excited about Everton purely because I don't think they played very well against Palace last game.
No, they were.
We're not like. We're good, but like you need to be beating teams like that at home if you're going to be challenging from the Champions League spots. And I think this is what Koeman does. He has these really good runs, and then he'll just go on a run where they're crap for like 10 games, which is probably what we're going to experience now because City is not a nice game to start after the international break with because they're going to want to win. They got embarrassed by Tottenham Hotspur, who like, they're a very good side, but you still don't want to be embarrassed when you're wanting to win the league. But all these injuries are what make me doubt it because Aguero is doubtful as well. So if you're missing Aguero, De Bruyne and Sterling, that's basically all the chances created, all of the shots and all of the goals and assists out of your team from the whole season so far. And you see what happened with Pellegrini last year when he was there. I think they got battered by Spurs, which has just happened to Pep. I'm pretty sure they struggled at home to Everton in a game, and it all coincided with Kevin De Bruyne being out, Aguero being out, and it's not a nice way to. And even when he came back, they weren't the same. But
there was a political factor as well with Pellegrini on the outs.
Maybe, but like it doesn't matter. You still should be able to win games if you're a good enough manager. You've got the players on the pitch. Saying that, I think you get a lot of points if you pick City players because you've got someone in like Iheanacho who can come in and he basically scores a goal every single game.
He does.
And I sort of looked at his stats earlier and I thought he's got 2 goals, 3 assists this season. The best part about it is like 1 goal, 1 assist was against United. So he's not just going out there and scoring goals against sort of your Hulls and your Middlesbroughs and people like that. He actually scores decisive goals.
He turns up when the cameras are on as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Unfortunately, this isn't on TV, so Yannick Bolasie will have a shit game as well. But yeah, I can't see Everton getting anything out of this just because City have been so imperious at home this season. I think 2 or 3-1. I agree with Andy. I think Nolito will probably step up because he's just coming back from suspension. Maybe even Leroy Sané.
Well, he's starting though, because I mean, he'd be good from the bench, I suppose. But
the thing is, they're playing Barcelona on Wednesday, and he's not going to want to go to the new camp with people like De Bruyne, Aguero, and Sterling all carrying knocks if he starts them this Saturday. So I think he's going to do the same thing as Ranieri and rest them all on Saturday.
I was wondering if Navas will get the nod again.
Yeah, possibly. Navas is a nice DraftKings player, but he's incredibly frustrating to watch.
He's terrible.
Leroy's a good price. Leroy's a good price this week. I checked and I went. I saw his
Yeah,
average points.
don't take any defenders from either team because Baines is injured, Coleman might be injured, and City don't like to use their fullbacks like DraftKings fans would like them to.
Okay, so I think it's safe to say that everyone here is foreseeing a Man City win. I'm going to go for the draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 because Man City have got that big game against Barcelona. I don't think they're going to risk any of the doubtful players, but that's what I think. But who are you going to pick? That's right, because the Man City players are usually there. We'll cherry pick about 3 or 4 of them. It's good, but there will be no De Bruyne. Sterling's out. Aguero's doubtful. So all you DraftKings players out there, be fruitful. Do your homework before. Remember, you can change your lineups right up to kickoff. This is DraftKings, everybody. Welcome to the big time.